Or this is why we have these lines. This is to prevent us from buying when we see a big green candle. This is very tempting to get in, but we have those lines to tell us that any move below those lines is just noise. There's a lot of noise in the stock market, but what we are looking for are signals. And when we have a break of our horizontal resistance, we have a signal that we can use and act on. The stock market is pretty much all red today. Let's see if we could be heading for a stock market crash. And before I start, let me say hi to my friend Philippe. Salut Philippe, merci de m'écouter. So let's start with Tesla. Tesla is down $3.55, minus 2.03%, closed at 171.05. Post market, we are up by 1.14 bucks. Let's take a look at what this means on the chart, what these numbers mean. The $3.55 down, what does it mean? It does not mean that much because we are still into a congestion zone between 160.45 and 180.38. Yes, I've been repeating this every single day because it has been true every single day since mid-March. So there's nothing to do until Tesla break 180.38, in which case we can buy. And there's nothing to do until we break 155.46, in which case we could be shorting Tesla. So we are in a waiting period. Okay, let me add a little bit of something. So we have a little bit of another support at 170 right here. We have a little bit of support. So instead of coming down, when we are into a congestion zone, we tend to go from one side to the other. But at some point, and sometimes we stop midway. So now we seem to be stopping midway. So this is a little bit of an indication that we have strength. So the stock price has had a harder time since the past 5 days to go lower than 170. This is an early indication that in the market, people want to pay more for Tesla. They don't want to let the stock price go down to 160. They are stopping it at 170. So this is an indication of strength, but we still have resistance at 180. So the tug of war between the buyers and sellers cannot win 180.38 for the buyers yet. And with Tesla, we are going to have the earnings call April 23rd. This is going to come very soon, so we'll see what is happening. And Tesla has just announced here at 4:28 so that you can subscribe to full self-driving supervised for $99 a month. This is very cheap. I was expecting between $200 and $400, but this is pretty cheap at $99 a month. So I think a lot of people are going to sign up. So Tesla is going to basically make 100% profit on that $99 a month. So we need to see how many people are going to sign up. So this is free profit. This is free money for Tesla. So this is going to help them get more profit. The question is, how much more profit? Let's take a look at the VIX. Look at the value of the VIX. This is absolutely humongous. So VIX is up almost 16%. Something is brewing. The stock market is not doing well. There's a lot of fear in the stock market. The higher the VIX is, the lower the stock market tend to go. So this is not looking good. So be careful before going long, or don't go long right now. Let's wait until we have a cooling down of the VIX. We need that. In terms of the 10-year bonds, we have a little bit of a path, but also the 10-year bond is into a bullish channel right here. So this is still bullish. This is not helping the stock market. And US dollar, the same thing. US dollar is climbing and climbing. This is also not helping. Be careful entering long in any stock. And maybe it's the time to just take some profit. And let's take a look at crude oil. So light crude is at $85. So we see that this is into a congestion zone. It can zigzag freely between 61 and 93. If it starts to go above 93, then this is going to be significant. If it's anything in between, then this is just noise. Let's take a look at our stock indices in order to see how the stock market is actually reacting. Dow Jones is down 1.24%. That's not a lot in terms of the percentage. We had some red candles in the past, but what is significant here is that we have broken a pattern. The pattern was originally that we were going higher. Then the pattern became, well, we are going sideways. But now the pattern is becoming, we are going to go down. Yes, it's only one candle, so one candle does not make a trend, but for sure, this is not looking good. So we might be entering a season of shorting. So if you are in profit in your stocks that you have and the stocks are starting to go sideways and then starting to go down, this is the time to sell and take your profit and let things stabilize, and you can enter back in a little bit lower. SPX, same thing. We are losing the congestion zone. This is not a good sign. NASDAQ is still okay. In terms of technology, NASDAQ is okay, fine. Let's take a look at the Magnificent Seven stocks. So Apple, we had a big move yesterday, with this announcement that the M4 would have some artificial stuff. They already have artificial neural network cores, but supposedly it's going to have something different. So Apple is still a little bit higher, but see, it has not broken 180.24. This is why we have these lines. This is to prevent us from buying when we see a big green candle. This is very tempting to get in, but we have those lines to tell us that any move below those lines is just noise. There's a lot of noise in the stock market, but what we are looking for are signals. And when we have a break of our horizontal resistance, we have a signal that we can use and act on. Amazon is still continuing up. AMD very close to breaking its horizontal resistance, but it has not done so yet. Stochastic is super low. Stochastic at 4. Very concerning. ARM going sideways, not too bad. Google continuing higher. Microsoft going sideways. So yesterday we had a buy impulse right here, and now we have a reversal. The same thing happened March 21st. This is too bad, but it happens. And now we have lost stochastic also. Meta's doing not too bad. It's still continuing sideways. NVIDIA also sideways. Palantir is still above support, but cannot break 23.28. We need it above 23.28 at least to start to consider buying it again. And we also need a good stochastic over 60, and it's at 25. So we don't have those criteria. SMCI, we had a little bit of a move for the last 2 days, but today we are down 4%, and post-market we are down 0.5%. So this one looks like it wants to come back down to 855 at least, if not lower. Truth Social barely hanging on to support at 31.81, no stochastic. So you see that either stocks and indices have broken their congestion support or are very close to them. Marathon broke 17.33. Let's take a look at our EV stocks. So BYD is pretty much zigzagging. Don't touch this before 28.16. Lucid, another one, losing support here. Lucid has lost support at 254. NEO continuing down. Novonix is having a pullback. So we broke 294 yesterday, which was a pretty good milestone. Now we are pulling back a little bit. We'll see where this stabilizes. Expect the thing to see. Rivian cratering down. Look at Bitcoin. We are losing stochastic, and we could not hold, we could not break 71,673. Yeah. This was the number to break in order to indicate that we could be moving higher. So we are not having that yet. XRP, big move down. All went back down to 51. Look at this. It went perfectly down to our support at 51, but closed a little bit higher. Gold, a little bit of a pullback. So basically, it's starting to slow down a little bit. Silver went pretty high, went up to 988, but came back down. But we still made a higher low compared to yesterday. So that's not too bad. I think Tesla did it on purpose to announce their $99 a month FSD I think that they wanted to make sure that everybody would have time this weekend to absorb this news and then make their decision instead of leaking this so that only the few people that would hear about it first would be able to act. So maybe this is going to be a step change next week for Tesla. We are going to know if it's a step change next week if we break 180.38 on Monday. So thanks very much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you like what I do, you can become a YouTube member. Click on my TradingView affiliate link. I'm going to wish you a great weekend. We are going to talk on Monday, unless you are a member, in which case we are also going to talk on Sunday, where I do a Tesla Weekly Live, and you can join me and we can chat together. So have a great weekend, and I'm going to tell you à la prochaine.